It also helps remove plaque for healthier gums and more. It fights cavities with fluoride and more. It's got great taste no other toothpaste has. Great tartar control, great taste, and a great deal more. New Tartar Control Aqua Fresh.
There is an ancient Chinese saying, it is better to light one candle than curse the darkness. On the other hand, we know that for many, many years in the great city of Chicago, there have been thousands of people who believe the Chinese know little about baseball. Here's ABC's Dick Schaap.
Ancient Wrigley Field, handsome home of the Chicago Cubs and of tradition. Ivy climbs the walls, real grass covers the ground. Games are played in daylight. And traditionally, the Cubs lose. They haven't won a pennant in 43 years, haven't won a World Series in 81. Now, at Wrigley Field, home of the die-hard bleacher bums, tradition is about to tumble. No, the Cubs are not about to win a pennant.
No, I think my grandchildren will still be waiting.
This is a smaller miracle. Lights, 540 of them, have been dropped on the roof of the old ballpark. And the other night, at a practice session for charity, the lights burned for the first time, singeing sentimentalists.
The last sanctuary, the last haven for a guy who likes day baseball is Wrigley Field.
For years, Wrigley's neighbors have had free seats for Cub games. Now they have free illumination in their living rooms.
It just shines right into their windows. It's the brightest thing. Sunglasses didn't stop it.
Many residents of so-called Wrigleyville oppose night baseball. They argue that parking in the residential neighborhood will be impossible, that after dark, crime and vandalism will proliferate.
There's this new image of Cub fans, you know. A bunch of barbarians are going to come in raping, plundering, looting the neighborhood.
But the Chicago Tribune, which owns the Cubs, won the legal war to put in lights after hinting that without the profits of night baseball, Wrigley Field might have to be abandoned. For now, night games at Wrigley will be limited. 7 this year, 18 in succeeding years. The first, a sellout already, will be played next Monday. An event of such moment, there were rumors that the president, who once portrayed a former Cub, would throw out the first ball.
They remember you, don't they? You've given them something to remember, Allie.
Not everyone shares the sense of history.
It really is no big deal. This isn't sandblasting everything off Mount Rushmore.
After all, night baseball has become as American as baseball. Dick Schaap, ABC News, Wrigley Field.
When we come back, our person of the week.
The fast antacid.
I've been writing a lot of stories about aspirin lately, but if you think you've heard all there is about aspirin, think again. Clinical tests on headaches show there's a better aspirin formula. It's Anacin. Listen, the tests show that compared to regular strength aspirin, Anacin provides a more effective level of headache relief. Better relief. The latest good news about aspirin is Anacin.
Anacin, a better aspirin formula. The totally new Buick Regal. There's nothing like it on the American road.
Out on the horizon, the heart of a Buick, the start of a regal new day. The great American road was made for Regal. It's a Regal reward, it's the way it should be in this Regal American land. The great American road belongs to Buick. Is the place.
This architect-style swing-arm lamp is only $5.88. And the Alson's Massage Spray Hand Shower is only $9.99. The right stuff, at the right price, right here. Hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
Tonight, a Barbara Walters exclusive, Kirk Douglas on his painful childhood.
My mother was always saying, don't be like your father.
Plus, the boat people, constantly haunted by death. One who survived returns on a rescue mission on 2020 tonight.
And finally this evening, our person of the week. This week's person has made a difference on many occasions during his life. And even before we know exactly what his latest decision will mean in the long run, this week he has, in one fell swoop, dramatically altered the political equation in the Middle East.
Israel's withdrawal from the territories occupied in June of 1967 cannot be separated from the exercise by the Palestinian people of the right of self-determination and national freedom.
King Hussein of Jordan knows as well as anyone that getting the Israelis out of the territory they occupy is a monumental challenge. This week he has said to the Palestine Liberation Organization, the challenge is yours.
It gives them an uncontested diplomatic right to engage with Israel. There's no competitor now. It's a challenge because the PLO is now in the spotlight, and it has to succeed, it has to deliver. And if it doesn't, it will be pushed aside.
What the king has done in practical terms is to withdraw Jordan's economic support from Palestinians under occupation and stepped back politically from the struggle to regain the west bank of the Jordan River, which was seized by the Israelis in 1967.
Maybe a tactical move. In the short run, it insulates Jordan from problems in the West Bank. In the long run, in case the PLO drops the ball, it might once again make Jordan the key partner in a peace process.
The king appears to be saying that if the Palestinians don't want him to lead their struggle for independence, let the PLO do what it can to throw off the yoke of occupation. This is not the first time that the PLO and the king have been competing for Palestinian allegiance. But during the Palestinian uprising in the occupied territories this year, the PLO has increased its influence tremendously, while the king's has declined.
He doesn't speak for the people who matter. The Palestinians themselves, about whom everyone is negotiating, do not recognize him as a credible spokesman.
King Hussein is a Hashemite, not a Palestinian. He is descended directly from the Prophet Muhammad. His ancestors come from the Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia today. At 17, as he put it once, his dream of being just a schoolboy came to an end. He was at his grandfather's side when King Abdullah was assassinated in Jerusalem.
Just maybe 4 or 5 days before his death, he called me to his side and said that I'm getting on in life and I don't believe I'll be with all of you much longer, and I want you to promise that you will do everything you can to see that my work is not lost. I made that promise not knowing what it meant really.
His own father, King Talal, was mentally unfit to rule, but Hussein, who is now 52, has been on the throne ever since. He is the most spectacular survivor in the region. There have been so many assassination attempts. Acid in his nasal drops, poison in his food. His pro-Western policies have often made him the target of extremists. The king's personal life has always been grist for the media. He has been married 4 times and has 11 children. Today, he is married to the former Lisa Hallaby, who is an American. He is very much an outdoorsman, a great lover of sport, and an avid pilot. Hussein's policy towards Palestinians has always been more generous than other Arab leaders. 2/3 of his country today is Palestinian. They either fled or were driven from their homes across the river by the Israelis. What happens to Palestinians has a direct bearing on the king's throne. Hussein has always wanted the PLO and Israel to grant each other mutual recognition. Will the king's move force them to do so? Or will the PLO fail miserably because it is not equipped to administer to Palestinians under occupation? This Israeli government says it will never deal with the PLO in any form. So is time running out?
I think we're fast approaching the psychological moments when all hope is lost of ever achieving anything reasonable and lasting and acceptable to generations to come.
And so we choose King Hussein, for whom there is nothing more important than his throne. He has been incredibly lucky so far. That's our report on World News Tonight. I'm Peter Jennings. We'll be back on Monday. Have a good weekend. Good night.
When a friend gets the boot,
we have to save this marriage.
the boys' class in romance works like a charm.
Hi, boys.
Perfect strangers.
Are you naked under that coat?
And it's more than laughs. Get ready for big-time magic on Full House. Right after Perfect Strangers, Friday.
Next up here on Eyewitness News at 6, we'll tell you why more than 100 people lost their jobs today in Fridley. You'll hear about a call for stronger sentencing guidelines for criminals.
You'll learn why the state's soybean crop is threatened by an infestation of insects. And we're going to show you a steamboat captain's house moving back to Nicollet Island. We'll have all of these stories along with today's sports and the weather next on Eyewitness News at 6.
For great personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store, where the August bargain of the month is this West Bend Clock Timer 2. Perfect for baking or browning. It reminds you about the laundry and wakes you from a nap. This 24-hour timer counts up or down, then becomes a digital clock. Pick up the West Bend Clock Timer 2 for just $5.99, where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
If you're concerned about your pet's health, please listen to a talk with Betty White. Then I'll be back with a free offer.
What love for animals really means is concern for their health and their long life. It's disease you have to worry about. That's why proper nutrition is so critical. I buy Hill's Science Diet pet foods. They're formulated by veterinarians, experts who know that excesses in sodium and minerals and other nutrients can harm pets. Science diets are properly balanced for each stage of life. Oh, there's nothing I trust more than Science Diet. Nothing.
If you're a concerned pet owner, learn how Science Diet can help your pet. Call 1-800-445-6000 for free samples of canine or feline Science Diet, plus facts on nutrition and why Science Diet products are sold only through veterinarians and pet food retailers. Call now. Sample Science Diet, the pet food concerned pet owners trust.
A talk show to end all talk shows tonight on 5. Live from Minnesota's news channel, KSTP Channel 5. Stan Turner, Ruth Spencer, Dave Dahl, and Mark Curtis bring you Eyewitness News at 6.
And good evening, everybody. It is labor news that leads our local news this Friday. Today, one of the largest defense contractors in the Twin Cities area started handing out pink slips.
In a cost-cutting move, the FMC Corporation laid off 124 of its workers. The company cited increased competition in the defense industry as the reason for that. But for the workers, this cutoff came without any warning. And Carolyn Brookter talked to them as they left the plant for the last time.
There were a lot of people leaving FMC's Fridley plant carrying boxes and bags, all filled with their personal belongings. Alan Snare was one of them. He is one of the 124 people who lost their job today. Snare had worked at FMC 5 years as a systems engineer.
I have mixed emotions. It's someplace between anger, sadness, frustration.
Those are the same feelings Duffy Hansen has. After 10 years on the job for FMC and becoming a supervisor, he felt safe. He was not.
I really hope to retire out of this place, but that's not to be.
FMC makes weapons primarily for the Navy, but officials say recently their profits have been down. Now they see cutting jobs as a way to stay competitive.
In order for us to be competitive now as well as in the years ahead, we simply have to reduce our costs.
Marion McKenzie was stunned by the news. After working here 17 years, she's not sure what she'll do now.
What do you do in terms of your income in your life? That's a good question. It's a very good question. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do.
FMC officials say they don't expect any more layoffs in the near future, but many of the people I talked to today say they're not quite sure what to believe anymore. Carolyn Brookter, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
And FMC is offering the laid-off workers help in finding another job.
In other labor news, a big question answered. When did the Hormel strike in Austin, Minnesota officially end? Well, that's been open for discussion in a number of Minnesota courtrooms, but the Minnesota Supreme Court finally decided today that it was September of 1986, and that decision will cost Hormel about $1.5 million in extra unemployment benefits. The strike started over a contract dispute. That was in August of 1985. In January of '86, Hormel hired 500 replacement workers, and violence broke out when hundreds of strikers crossed their own picket lines to reclaim their jobs. It's at this point the company said the strike was over, but the state's highest court says it did not end until a new contract was signed, and that happened in September of 1986. Hormel says now that it will abide by the court's decision and pay the extra unemployment benefits. Ruth?
The courts will be handing out tougher sentencing for murder and other violent crimes if one Minnesota legislator gets his way. DFL Representative Steve Wenzel of Little Falls says that he's going to introduce tougher sentencing legislation in next year's session. Among other things, he would eliminate parole for anyone convicted of first-degree murder. Eyewitness News reporter Jackie Renner revisited one Twin Cities neighborhood where a popular grocer was murdered earlier this year and found a lot of support for this proposal.
The little store Roger Remy ran for so long and where he was murdered has reopened, but with a new owner, Jihad Hassan. This week, Hassan has been asking his customers to sign this petition. It urges lawmakers to impose tougher sentences for violent crimes. Hassan has strong feelings about the current criminal justice system.
A criminal does not go to jail to sit and watch TV and have a gym and have food 3 times a day and then come and rob me and kill me. And he have a better life than I.
In just 3 days, over 120 people have signed the petition at the store. It was started by Honeywell employees who had a coworker murdered this summer. Bev Bruce knows that the suspects in that case and in Emmy's murder are men with past criminal records. And that's one reason why she thinks some changes are in order.
People are prosecuted more. Maybe it'd make them think twice about, you know, what they're doing. I think they're getting by too easy.
Here at the Capitol, some state lawmakers say they are well aware that public sentiment seems to favor longer sentences. But before any changes are made, legislators will weigh a couple of factors. Randy Kelly chairs the House's Judiciary Committee.
A big factor is the cost. It costs between $15,000 and $25,000 depending upon what institution you have individuals in, so it's a very costly proposition. The longer you keep them there, the more cost.
Lawmakers and the public must decide whether they're willing to pay that price for greater safety. Jackie Renner, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
And the Honeywell employees who drafted those petitions calling for tougher sentences say that in all, they've collected about 15,000 signatures so far.
Gay activists, some state lawmakers, and members of some organizations for the handicapped say they plan a big rally at Loring Park this Sunday and in several cities nationwide. It's what they call an attempt to free a northern Minnesota woman from a nursing home. Sharon Kowalski, pictured in this 1984 home video, has not been seen by friends in 3 years. Her father received a court order barring Sharon's best friend, Karen Thompson, from visiting her at that nursing home. Kowalski was left a quadriplegic after an auto accident back in 1983. Her father won legal custody of her. But Thompson, who says she was Sharon's lover, says Sharon may not be getting the best medical attention.
There is no excuse for a 32-year-old woman, and she'll be 32 next Monday, to spend the rest of her life in an institution. People in conditions much worse than Sharon Kowalski's are in homes right now.
Well, Kowalski's mother says that activists should simply leave the family alone. Della Kowalski told Eyewitness News this afternoon their daughter is doing as well as can be expected. Doctors from Duluth are scheduled to evaluate Sharon's condition later this month.
When we come back, an almost invisible insect is creating havoc in the soybean crop.
The spider mite is rivaling our weather, and either way, it spells disaster. That story next.
Oh no! Forgot to add the fabric softener!
If only she knew about Solo. You can't forget the softener in Solo. Because Solo is detergent and fabric softener in one. Solo gives you a clean so soft, it's actually fluffed up higher with softness.
Stop! No! Oh, you stop!
Next time, get Solo. It cleans with a softness you can't forget.
Come on into Coast to Coast.
People are very surprised to find
prices at Coast to Coast lower on some items than at the local discount stores.
Save during our savings celebration on VHS videotape from Memorex. High standard for superb color and sound, only $2.99. And save on famous Fiskar scissors. Stainless steel blades and accuracy down to the tip. Your choice, only $5 each at your local Coast to Coast hardware store.
You know, this is Walt Disney World. But so is this. And this. Walt Disney World, a vacation within a vacation. It's the world's greatest resort.
This is the year to see the world, Walt Disney World.
Keep on top of the Twin Cities restaurant scene with the Diner's Guide on CityLine. Call 645-6060. When CityLine answers, press 3463. That's D-I-N-E.
Hundreds of Minnesota farmers are still not certain if their insurance company will make good on drought coverage purchased this summer. These farmers turned out in Burnsville today seeking some answers to that. They are among 900 farmers statewide who bought insurance from the Chubb Insurance Company. However, Chubb said later it had oversold drought coverage in 10 states. Well, now many farmers are unsure they're covered. Commerce Commissioner Mike Hatch says he hopes Chubb will honor all policies.
They are a very wealthy company, over $1 billion in surplus. They certainly can afford to issue the policy.
Well, so far, Chubb has refused to say whether it will in fact honor all those policies. The state will hold hearings in September. Those hearings aimed at revoking Chubb's license to do business in Minnesota.
Despite our recent rains, the drought is still in full force, and it couldn't come at a worse time for the soybean crop. Soybean prices are soaring on the Chicago Board of Trade as the harvest predictions hit the lowest levels in years. The plants are hitting their most vulnerable growing stage right now, and this hot, dry weather is expected to destroy half of Minnesota's crop.
And on top of all that, insects are compounding the soybean crop problems. A tiny, almost invisible enemy is threatening Minnesota's soybean crop. Catherine Smith found that while the hot, dry weather is not good for soybeans, it's perfect for an infestation of spider mites.
How many on that one?
Oh, they're crawling around pretty good.
Brad Sass is counting the number of spider mites on a soybean leaf. He's been spending a lot of time doing that lately to see how much of his crop has been ruined by the tiny parasites.
At first, Brad Sass says he just started to see yellowing leaves on these soybean plants. He thought it was drought-related stress. But a couple of weeks ago, Brad says he knew there was something very wrong when he started seeing lots of dead leaves on the ground.
At first, it looked like just dry weather taking over, but then the area got bigger, and once we got into looking, we could see the mites, and by then it was too late.
Spider mites are orange. They're about the size of a grain of sand, so they're hard to see. They attack the underside of soybean leaves, drain the plant of moisture, and eventually kill it. Spider mites are hitting hardest in south-central Minnesota counties, where people had high hopes for the soybean crop.
Soybeans were kind of the thing that we thought if we could get some rain, there could be some promise for. And with the mites coming, that promise has really kind of gone down the tube.
The decision for many farmers now is whether to spend money spraying insecticide to get rid of the mites. Brad Sass says he won't spray this field because he's already lost 80% of a normal yield. Brad says there's only one thing that would help now, and that's a good hailstorm, so he could collect on insurance. Catherine Smith, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Le Sueur County.
The runoff into city lakes here in the Twin Cities from this week's rainfall has not caused a health threat to swimmers. There had been talk that might happen, but city environmentalists say the lakes continue to be safe for swimmers. While there is probably an increase in bacteria levels from all the runoff, it should not cause disease.
And the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers today confirmed a story that Eyewitness News told you about on Wednesday. Corps spokesmen say they will not release water from northern reservoirs to boost Mississippi River levels. The Corps based that decision on increased rainfall, higher river flows, and a favorable extended forecast. By 6 o'clock today, the Mississippi flow rate at Anoka was 1030 cubic feet per second.
It's above that critical 1,000 cubic feet per second mark.
All right.
When we come back here, we will head uptown for an uplifting arts festival.
This is the 25th annual, and it's expected to draw hundreds of thousands of people.
It's convenient to shop at Coast to Coast. You can come in and get what you want, and you're out in a few minutes.
Save during our savings celebration on the Thermostrip Paint Stripper by Imhart. Make stripping paint and varnish fast and easy, only $21.99. And save on adjustable wrenches by Diamond Tool. Made in America, full lifetime warranty. Your choice, only $9.99 at your local Coast to Coast hardware store.
If you're concerned about your pet's health, please listen to a talk with Betty White. Then I'll be back with a free offer.
What love for animals really means is concern for their health and their long life. It's disease you have to worry about. That's why proper nutrition is so critical. I buy Hill's Science Diet pet foods. They're formulated by veterinarians, experts who know that excesses in sodium and minerals and other nutrients can harm pets. Science diets are properly balanced for each stage of life. Oh, there's nothing I trust more than Science Diet. Nothing.
If you're a concerned pet owner, learn how Science Diet can help your pet. Call 1-800-445-6000 for free samples of canine or feline Science Diet, plus facts on nutrition and why Science Diet products are sold only through veterinarians and pet food retailers. Call now. Sample Science Diet, the pet food concerned pet owners trust.
Midas brake shoes and pads are guaranteed for as long as you're in your car. And that's just part of our $59 brake special. Nobody beats Midas. Nobody.
His friends say it was an affair doomed from the start. A 17-year-old student and his attractive married teacher. The student killed himself, and the teachers left the small town for the big city.
Watch A Current Affair tonight at 6:30 on Channel 5.
One of the Twin Cities' most interesting intersections will be even more colorful this weekend, the Uptown Art Fair. It's a good one. It's celebrating its 25th anniversary at the corner of Lake and Hennepin in Minneapolis. Hundreds of artists from 35 states will be showing and selling their creations. The streets will be blocked off, the bands will be playing, and hundreds of thousands are expected to browse and buy. The fair runs through Sunday from noon until nightfall. That is a good one. Try to get down there if you can. Dave Dahl's having a good time. He's in Stillwater. I'm wondering if he's...
learning more about the art of barbecuing.
Yeah, is he charring chicken, burning brats, or are you torching turkey? What's going on down there? Is that it?
Said torching turkey, and boy, did they good. They did a great job of torching that turkey. They did such a great job. We've got folks out here that have been eating constantly for 3.5 hours, I think, and look at this guy. He's been enjoying it the most here. Yeah. What is his name? Hank. Yeah, Hank. He's happy too. All these folks, I guess, are friends of John and Barb Fessendine. Fessendine. They say it's pronounced different ways. Fessendine up here in Stillwater and Fessenden in Minneapolis. But how are you related here?
Son-in-law.
Son-in-law. And who's this little one that you have here? This is Sarah, right?
Yeah.
And how old is Sarah?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah.
Can you say anything, Sarah? Oh, she's trying. She enjoyed the food too, didn't she? Yeah. But we got to get over here to Barb and John. These are the owners, and John, you have done just an amazing job with this house. You should see their downstairs. You folks have parties, the way I understand it, all the time out here.
We do have a few of them.
And you have to do all the cooking all the time, Barb?
Most of the time.
This is an amazing place, and you built it all.
Yep, did it all.
How long did it take you to build this pool?
Oh, it took us about a year.
A year? And how did you have time to do it?
Oh, it took time. We made it somehow.
The turkey was wonderful. All the food was wonderful. You also have a pie here. We got to show this real quickly. This is a fruit pie, and Tom is also a son-in-law. And Tom, how did you make this?
My wife and sister-in-law made it.
Yeah. He was telling me that. Yeah, he was telling me that he did it. But see the 5 there. That my favorite. I can hardly wait till we get to that. But let's take a look at the weather right now. Look at some of the rainfall that happened last night. Just light amounts around the Observer Network. You can see some of the heavier amounts, though, on the north and west side. Up there in Big Lake at Wayne Frederick's backyard, he had 0.15 of an inch. But most spots, less than 1/10 of an inch. But it was helpful, especially up in the northern part of the state. Satellite loop for the last several hours has been showing mostly clear skies now over Minnesota, and that stretches all the way out through the Dakotas. That spells sunshine for the next couple of days. Right now here in the Twin Cities, as we take a look at the backyard here, right by the pool, enjoying that. 83 degrees, just a great day. The dew point 53, 36% for the relative humidity, and that barometric pressure is now falling, 29.89. Today's high temperature staying below 90 again, 83, but we're going to pop above 90 tomorrow. 64 this morning's low, and out at the airport, 0.10 of an inch. Forecast map for tomorrow then shows some cooler air starting to slide in from the north and east across the northern Great Lakes. 92, though, for a high as we see the warm air get squeezed up across the upper Midwest, and the possibility for some scattered showers and thunderstorms. That doesn't look like it'll occur right here in southern Minnesota until sometime late Saturday, more likely scattered on Sunday. Forecast for the Twin Cities then. Overnight tonight, mostly clear. Everybody wave, having a good time? Yeah, they're having a great time. Look at all the animals. Mostly clear, 58 to 62 for overnight lows. Just a great night. Sunny skies for tomorrow. To start it out, 62 when you wake up. Then in the afternoon, starts to get a little bit more humid, 90 to 94 as we start to heat up again. That should be our 38th 90-degree day for Saturday night into Sunday. Partly cloudy, maybe some scattered thunderstorms on Sunday with high temperatures then, 92 to 96. Looking ahead a little bit further, right on through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms, lows in the 60s, high temperatures in the 80s. And I want to really thank all the folks that have given us or let us invade their backyard here. It's been a beautiful day.
It looks great. Dave, remember now to wait an hour before you go swimming.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. I will remember that. I may even wait longer than that.
You want the fruit pie, too, don't you?
Yes. Bring that back,
If
Dave.
you can. All right.
We are going to bring you one back.
All right, thank you. Yeah, we make out pretty well. Still ahead in sports, a report from Saints training camp on a guy the Vikings will have to look out for this year.
Yes, and it's New York, New York for the Twins as they face those Yankees in a doubleheader. Mark Curtis has it all next.
It is going, and in the upper deck.
There's the pitch.
It's going deep. It's out of here.
No matter what you plan for the summer, Kentucky Fried Chicken has a hot double play special for you. Enjoy a two-piece meal with the Colonel's tender fried chicken, mashed potatoes and gravy and coleslaw, only $2.49. Or the 12-piece special with large mashed potatoes and gravy and large coleslaw for $11.99. KFC has something special for every summertime occasion, and that's worth celebrating. The Colonel's new double play specials only at KFC.
We do chicken right.
Still clinging to plastic wrap when reheating in the microwave? Cut-Right wax paper is easier to handle. It doesn't stick to itself or your dish like some plastic wraps. And Cut-Right doesn't allow too much steam to build up, like plastic wraps can. Cut-Right keeps your food moist and delicious, so when you reheat in the microwave, reach for Cut-Right wax paper. We make microwaving easier.
I'm Bob Bruce, and coming up this week on Twin Cities Live, on Monday, group homes. Some feel potentially dangerous people are living next door. Tuesday, radon gas. It's odorless, colorless, and it can be very dangerous to your health. On Wednesday, adults who were raised in dysfunctional families who have overcome and learned to cope. Thursday, what's in a name? Find out when we play the name game. And on Friday, what's it like to be portrayed by your sister, mother, or best friend? We'll find out from women who have been done in. That's coming up all this week on Twin Cities Live, weekday mornings at 9.
Love affairs. We always get around to it. We might start with world affairs, but soon it's on to affairs of the heart. Men, now there's something we have in common. We all share a tall, dark secret.
Ladies, a toast to the other man in our lives. He's passionate and funny and sexy.
To Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Yeah.
Geraldo, weekdays at 10 on Channel 5.
Yankees versus Twins. How are they doing?
Well, until like 5 seconds ago, they were doing great. Claudell Washington just hit a 3-run homer. It's now 7-5. We'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, it is an amazing thing when you think about it. The Twins split the series in Toronto. The way they've turned it around on the road this year, and then today, to go into Yankee Stadium, Fred Tolliver beats Rick Rhoden. Really, it's a great story. Top of the first, Kirby Puckett jumped on Rick Rhoden's breaking ball and sent it just over the wall and right for a 1-0 Twins lead. Yesterday, it was Anderson. Today, Fred Tolliver here gets Jack Clark. He went 7 1/3 innings and really kept the Yankees in check. And then the end of the fairy tale, Gene Larkin comes back to his hometown and hits a 3-run shot into the upper deck. The Twins now lead at 7-5. As I said, Claudell Washington has just hit a 3-run shot. Hopefully, the Twins can hang on. We'll try and get your final before the end of the show. Now, unless something breaks within the next 48 hours, it looks like the Vikings will play the Saints and then head for Sweden without 4 starting players from last year's squad. Now, granted, the preseason games are pretty meaningless, but we're also getting closer to the start of the regular season without Doug Martin, Gary Zimmerman, Kirk Loudermilk, and Darren Nelson. And of the 4, I really thought we would have seen Nelson by now because he's the one guy that's still under contract. But his absence has given the coaches a good chance to check out Darrell Harris, the rookie out of Arizona State. And so far, they like what they see. Harris has great breakaway speed and says the switch from college to pros hasn't been all that tough.
Our backs out there, we blocked and we caught the ball and we ran, so it's pretty much the same as out here, and I'm pretty familiar with that type of system.
You feel like you got what it takes to play in the pros?
Definitely. I just need a shot right now, and that's what I'm looking for.
Pretty good balance and speed, catches the ball adequately, and pretty smart kid. You know, we have to see more of him, and he'll get a good chance in some of our scrimmages and some of our preseason games to take a look at him.
Now, as promised, a look at the competition. Last year, the Vikings destroyed the Saints in the NFC wildcard game. That sent them on to that meeting with the 49ers, which they also won. And the end of the story was that they almost made it to the Super Bowl. So it seems almost ironic that they begin this preseason with another game against the Saints. We sent Ed Cairo to their camp to take a look at one of their big guns, running back Ruben Mays.
For the first time in their history, the New Orleans Saints have taken their training camp outside Louisiana to La Crosse, Wisconsin, about 150 miles south of the Twin Cities. For Saints star running back Ruben Mays, this camp is a rebirth of sorts after his knee ligaments were severely torn in the Saints' January 3rd playoff game with the Vikings. But Mays has responded well after surgery and looks to be far ahead of his schedule for rehabilitation.
A lot of it's hard work, but a lot of it's mental, too. I mean, I think if you're positive all the time and you go out there and you work hard and have a good attitude and you feel, you know, just positive about everything. You know, I was fortunate, too. I had a good surgery, so everything kind of fell in place for me. And
at the rate he's progressing in this East Central Wisconsin training camp, Ruben Mays should be ready for another 1,000-yard season for the surprising Saints. The Saints plan to be here until well into the preseason when they head for Indianapolis for their third preseason game. Long enough for La Crosse to start adoption papers for a second pro franchise for Wisconsin. In La Crosse, Ed Cairo, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Now, after their game against the Saints, the Vikings take on the Bears, and one of the things I'm sure that will attract a lot of attention is Jim McMahon with his sunglasses and the new #9 earring. I like that so much, I think I'm going to get a 5 to put on my ear. What do you think?
Like the 5 on that pie. Made of strawberries. Thank you, Mark. When we come back, we'll tell you the story about a house we saw going up the street.
505. Okay, and it just so happens that it was built by an old steamboat captain.
We're America's second largest seed company because we're doing it right with quality hybrids.
Doing it right. Doing it right. At the new Northrop King, we're doing it right.
We've been selling seed corn longer than anyone else. And with over 100 years of experience, we're experts on producing quality seed.
At the new Northrop King, we're doing it right for you.
Look what international exchange rates are doing to the sticker prices of foreign luxury cars. First, the Germans raised their prices, then the Japanese, then the Germans again. Higher, higher, and higher. Now that the dust has settled, one American luxury car stands out by not raising prices this model year. Cadillac, a true American luxury car.
Come on into Coast to Coast.
People are very surprised to find prices at Coast to Coast lower on some items than at the local discount stores.
Save during our savings celebration on VHS videotape from Memorex. High standard for superb color and sound, only $2.99. And save on famous Fiskar scissors. Stainless steel blades and accuracy down to the tip. Your choice, only $5 each at your local Coast to Coast hardware store.
Don't miss your bus. There's a better way. Now, from home or office, using any touch-tone phone, just dial CityLine 645-6060 and enter the category RIDE to find out the very next time to catch your bus. No busy signals, no hassles, just quick and easy access to MTC bus information now from CityLine. The call is free, so call 645-6060, enter RIDE, and get on schedule today with CityLine.
If you've found your dream house, but you're not sure about the neighborhood, just move. Move the house, that is. Mark Sapelza found 4 folks who are doing just that with one of Minnesota's historical houses.
These four old buddies from graduate school have been looking for a house to live in, to kind of relive old times. Look, they finally found it. No, not in the street, at Augsburg College. But Dave, Jim, and Stanley didn't want to live on campus again, so they're moving it. It's going ever so slowly, block by block, around and under every power line, all 16 rooms in 2 pieces and on wheels. But the move isn't the best part. What is the house and who live there.
By Sunday, the house will be moved from here about 3 more miles this way, down to Nicollet Island, where the builder of the house, Captain Edward Murphy, first lived.
So who is Captain Murphy? He was a steamboat captain and one of Minnesota's first settlers. He built the Murphy House 119 years ago on the Augsburg campus. Of late, the house has been occupied by less prestigious dwellers, frat brothers, and they weren't kind to things like the spiral staircase railing supports.
They managed to kick out all of these in a party. We've talked to some of the guys who were at that party, too. And we said, why did you guys do this? He says, well, you know, it was a lot of fun at the time.
Why bother spending $75,000 to move an old rundown house? History, they say.
And if you use a little imagination, you can maybe understand why I would recommend and really am emphatic about restoring old houses, because you just can't get that quality of craftsmanship and materials today.
As the guys take the rest of this moving day off, they're a little worried. The house is not only parked in a no parking zone, the house next door is having a big sale. Hope they don't go overboard. This thing's not for sale. In Minneapolis, Mark Sapelsa, Channel 5 Eyewitness News.
Biggest mobile home we've ever seen, right?